So, Genshin just made $100 million from mobile alone in the month of January. This isn't something I'd normally cover on this channel, but I feel like it's worth talking about. And to put into perspective just how good those numbers are, it's more than double what Genshin made in any natlan patch prior to this. But why does this matter? Who cares how much money Hoyo is making off of us? Well, I think it matters in this particular case because of the circumstances behind why January sold so well and what it could mean for future patches moving forward. As we know, 5.3 was the first time Genshin has ever ran two new limited 5 stars at the same time in the same patch. Having both new characters at the same time like this naturally creates FOMO for players to get them both while they are there, which obviously means a lot more people are likely to spend to get them. Hoyo's revenue has been down in natlan. For comparison, most months in natlan made between like 35 and 50 million, but in patch 4.6 with Arlecchino's first banner, they made 120 million, which is actually still more than what Mavrika and Silali's banner made. But since this double new 5-star strategy did work so well in comparison to the other natlan patches, I think it's a very real possibility that this becomes a regular thing. For example, maybe in 5.5 we get both Aoife and Iansan in the first half of the patch, with both being limited 5 stars. If this does become a regular new thing, what does that mean for us, the players? You might think it would be really bad because a lot of players either won't have enough time to get both characters, or be forced to spend money that they otherwise wouldn't. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. Even if we were to get two new 5 stars at the same time like this on a regular basis, that doesn't mean you'll need to pull them both. If only one of the characters interests you, then you're not affected at all. Plus, if you're a player like myself who spends their primos sparingly rather than pulling on almost every shiny new toy, most of the time you're probably sitting on a comfortable cushion of primos and can easily get new characters that interest you when they do come out. And from my own personal perspective, it's a lot more fun to have more new characters in a single patch because I'm a theory crafter and that gives me a lot of things I can theory craft and possibly make videos on. With patch cycles being every 6 weeks, it can get pretty boring just having one new character to talk about each patch, especially if it's an uninteresting character that doesn't bring much to the meta. So speaking just for myself, I would actually be very happy if we start regularly seeing two new 5 stars like this. But of course, we don't actually know that this will become a regular thing. With Mavrika and Lali, there are a lot of unique factors at play here. For instance, Lali is by far Mavrika's best support, so obviously people are going to feel forced to pull for them both. And without Lali, Mavrika's power level is a lot lower. Granted, it is still extremely high, but it is lower, so people wouldn't have been seeing her hit quite as big of numbers, thus likely reducing the amount of interest people had in her. So to say, even if we do start seeing two new 5 stars at the same time on a regular basis, unless the new characters have huge synergy with each other, chances are pretty high that it wouldn't actually replicate the success of Mavrika and Citlali. And even if said new characters did directly synergize, Mavrika and Citlali are also the two biggest examples of blatant power creep we have ever seen in Genshin, and I don't expect every single new 5 star to be on that level of power creep. Another important thing to keep in mind with these numbers is all of that money didn't come from Mavrika and Lali. The first few days of Arlecchino and Clarence banner is also factored in there. It's both of their first ever reruns, so chances are a good amount of players spent for them. Specifically Arlecchino, considering how great her first banner sold, so we have no idea how much of this actually came from the dual new 5-star banner. Only Hoyo first knows that. But I do think there's a strong possibility Hoyo at least tries out regularly having two new 5 stars like this, at least for a while, to see if it increases their average revenue or not. While we are talking about Genshin and revenue, why exactly has Genshin's revenue been down so much in Natlan? It's easy to chalk it up to people being fed up with devs not listening and Natlan not meeting many players' expectations, mine included, but I think that's a very small part of the reason. The actual main reason is that while whales have a ton of money, at the end of the day, there is only a finite amount of money that can get spent around in gacha games. Hoyoverse now has three big games with Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. with many players still playing all three games, so the money that spent on these games is divided between all three. Plus, there's also a lot more gacha games on the market now, even outside of Hoyo games, so the gacha market is just way more competitive and diluted than it used to be when Genshin was making such obscene amounts of money every month. But even now, it is still making ridiculous amounts of money. The 100 million from January is mobile alone, and we know for a fact Genshin makes insane amounts of money on PlayStation as well, plus it's on PC, so I wouldn't be surprised if the combined total was over 300 million. So to say, anyone who claims Genshin is dying or falling off is a bit of an idiot. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for now. Pretty short video. This isn't something I'd normally talk about as this is a theory crafting channel, but it is something I was very intrigued by and felt we could have good conversation about. Let me know if you'd be interested in more general discussion and non-theory crafting related videos such as this. I'd also love to know your thoughts on if you'd like to see more double new 5-star battles in the future, or if you think it's bad for the game. So comment your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked today's video. Thanks and goodbye.